So more slope review, I know. So we're going to take today and today only to go back over linear equations, everything we covered in quarter 2, okay? So starting out with slope, and then we're going to look at slope-intercept form and point slope form, and then we're also going to talk about standard form, which we haven't talked a lot about yet, okay? So let's start by just talking about slope. Someone define slope for me in some way. Steepness of a line, that's good. Steepness of a line or the shape of a line. So let's write that down. I think I'm turning this on. So underneath slope, you can just write steepness or shape of a line. Steepness or shape of a line. Uh-oh, it's being funny this morning. Of a line, right? Can someone give me some type of slope formula? Pardon? That's an example of slope. That's an example of a slope. But what's the slope formula? That's not the slope formula. What is that? Someone else tell me. Someone else tell me. What's that slope-intercept form? What's the slope formula? Perfect. Yes, exactly. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what letter do we usually use to denote slope? M. Good. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. There's perfect. That's exactly what I was going to ask for. Yeah, that's another way of writing it. It's delta y over delta x. Those little triangles are the Greek letter delta, and they signify change. When we're talking about change, we're talking about the difference. We're talking about subtraction, right? y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And there's one other way we kind of define slope. Someone else tell me. Super simple. When you think slope, what do you think? Rise over run. There you go. That's it. Rise over run. So those are kind of our different ways of thinking about slope, right? And we can't talk about slope without talking about Mr. Slope Guy, right? So there's 4 different types of slopes, right? Can someone tell me one type of slope? Positive. What else? Negative. Undefined. And 0. Good. Someone want to come up here and like fill in the blanks of Mr. Slope Guy? Call on someone. Come on, Corbin.
Yeah, you got this, Corbin.
So fill in, what does a positive slope look like? What does a negative slope look like? What's an undefined slope? And what's a 0 slope? Good. Great. Yeah. Perfect. That's it, right? Excellent. Mr. Slope Guy, our friend. Yeah, positive slope rises from left to right. Negative falls from left to right. Undefined is straight up and down. 0 slope is straight across, right? Excellent. So let's practice finding slope. Finding slope. I'm just going to erase part of his face so we can see a little better. So first way we can find slope is from a graph. So let's say, what was I going to do here? Let's say we have a line. Let's write out an equation and we'll graph it together. So let's say we have y equals 2/3 x minus 4. What form is this in?
That is slope-intercept form.
Slope-intercept form, right? Slope-intercept form. So, which is y equals mx plus b, right? And in slope-intercept form, what does m stand for? Slope. And what does b stand for? The y-intercept. So in this equation, what's my slope?
2/3.
Perfect. 2/3. And what's my y-intercept? Good. -4. So now when I want to go and graph this equation, what do I do? What's my first step?
Find your y-intercept.
And
then use your slope to create the line.
Exactly, yeah. We got to first plot our y-intercept, and then we use the slope to draw the line. So y-intercept is on the y-axis, on the vertical axis, down at -4. And then if my slope is 2/3, what is that in terms of rise over run? What's my rise and what's my run?
Actually, I don't want to
Say it. Bella, you say it.
over 2 up 3.
Other way around. Other way around.
Over 3 up 2.
Yeah, over 3 up 2, right? Our rise is 2. We go up 2 and then over 3. And is that a positive slope or a negative slope?
Negative.
What is it, Corbin?
Negative.
Why is it a negative?
How is it positive? Wouldn't it be negative because it's a -4?
But where's your slope? Where's your slope in the y-intercept?
It doesn't rise enough to rise.
Yeah, slope is 2/3, right? So it's positive. That's okay. Remember, mistakes are how thinking happen. That's how we learn things, is through making mistakes. So thank you, Corbin, for helping us learn. So right. So we're at -4. That's our y-intercept. That's the negative piece. And then, like Ariel said, we go up 2/3. And that's enough right there to draw a line, right? We just have to connect the points together. And you can use like a straight edge to connect them and draw a straighter line, but as long as you have those 2 points and they're connected, that's good for me, okay? And now, okay, so now I've got an equation, right? And we already know what our slope is, but let's just find the slope as if we were just given this graph, right? So if I give you just a graph, how do I find the slope from the graph?
A graph in a line or just a graph?
Just the graph, or yeah, just the line, right?
You would do your line like down however many and then across to where you're connecting points up. No.
Yeah, Ariel, what were you gonna say? You were gonna say something, and I thought I saw it. We're gonna draw our slope triangle, right? Like Lucas said, we have to draw a line up and then a line over, right? And this vertical piece, how tall my triangle is, that's my change in y. And how wide the triangle is, that's my change in x. So my slope is, change in y is 2, change in x is 3, so my slope is just 2/3, right? Good? All right, let's find slope from a table. So, any ideas on where to start? Yeah, Corbin.
You want to do that m equals y2 minus y1.
Yeah.
And then over x2 minus x1.
And
then you have to divide it.
Yep, that's exactly it. Nope, that's not nice. But thank you. That's okay. Yeah, that's perfect. And how do I know what do I fill in for y2, y1, x2, x1? How do I know where to put the numbers?
You got a label and you gotta go x1, x2, y1, y2.
And does it matter which ones are x1 and y1? No. So which one should I make x1, y1?
-6 for x1.
Okay, so then what would be y1? 3. And what should be x2? -3. And what should be y2 then? Perfect. Yeah. So now let's go ahead and plug in those values into our slope formula. So I've got y2 is 2. Let me get this straight. Hold on, let me fill in the blanks because I'm using there. So y2 is 2, y1 is 3, right? x2 is -3, and x1 is -6, right? So now let's simplify. 2 minus 3 becomes, it's 2 minus 3.
2 minus 3. That's -2.
It's -1 over, what's -3? What happens here with subtracting a negative number? Turns into an addition problem. So what's -3 plus 6? 3. So what's my slope?
-1/3.
Yeah, perfect. -1/3. Okay. And now from 2 points, this is super similar, right? From 2 points, I do the exact same thing. I'm still going to use my slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's call 1, 3. We'll call that x1, y1. And 0, -4 will be x2, y2. So let's set up the formula. So up top I have y2 minus y1. So Aiden, what do I put in place for y2? What does it say? What one's y2? And look at the board. Yeah, -4, exactly. So we put -4 minus y1. What's y1? 3. And now x2. What's x2?
0.
0. And x1 is
1.
1. Okay. Someone simplify for me. What's -4 minus 3?
-7.
Good, -7. And what's 0 minus 1?
-1.
-1. So how does this simplify? -7 over -1.
Would it just be 7 because the negatives?
Yeah, exactly. The negatives cross out, and then 7 over 1 is just the same thing as 7. So that's your slope. Can you please keep phones away? All right. Now we're looking at equations. If I'm just given an equation, we can find the slope really easily, especially if we have it in slope-intercept or in point-slope form. So slope-intercept form looks like this, right? Y equals mx plus b. We just talked about this. And what is my slope? M. This number right in front of x is my slope. Can anyone tell me what point slope form is? What like the template is for it?
Y equals y plus b.
Mine was the one that was at y equals
Oh, yeah.
x parentheses.
Yeah, and then the parentheses x minus x. Is it x1?
I think it's x2 parentheses.
Y1.
Y2?
Yeah, it's y equals y1 plus b quotations x minus x. X minus x1. X2 minus x1.
X minus x1. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
coach, that was a long
Yeah.
chapter.
Yeah. We can write it like this, or we can write it like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Either way. And what's my slope here? What's my slope? Endpoint slope. How do I know what my slope is?
It's B.
Yeah, up there I have it as B, but let's just keep calling it M. Just keep calling it M. Either way, it's the number right before the parentheses. Okay? It's the number being multiplied by the x's. So slope is that number there. And then, one more thing. Standard form. Anyone remember what standard form is? Yeah. Good. Ariel is using her resources, right? It's written up here at the front of the room. I know it's hard to see. You can you can come up and take a picture of it if you want to. You got ax plus by equals c. Does anyone know where the slope is in standard form?
Slope standard form.
B. Just kidding. C. A. Y.
X.
Nope. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it for now, okay? I want to do some whiteboard practice with you. So can you go over here, please, and grab a whiteboard and a marker? Whiteboard and a marker, and how about a piece of Kleenex too as a eraser? Whiteboard and a marker and an eraser. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you different equations. Let me grab my notes. So I'm going to give you equations, and I want you to tell me what form it's in. What form it's in. So your options are going to be, right? Slope-intercept. Come on. Slope-intercept. You can write slope-int, point slope, or standard form. Okay? I want you to tell me which of these they are. What form is that in? Write it on your whiteboard. Slope-intercept, point slope, or standard form. Yep, Hayden's got it. Let me see. Corbin's got it. Lucas got it. Callie's got it. Deanna, you got it. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So someone tell me, what is it? Slope-intercept. Good. How about this one? What form is that in? What form is that in? Slope in. Point slope. Good. Corbin got it. Nope. Point slope or standard. Nope. Yes. Yes. Let's have some more guesses. What does that look like? Standard. Yeah, good, good, good. Good. Yeah, so someone tell me, what is it? Standard, right? We've got, it's AX plus BY equals C. X and Y are on the same side of the equal sign. Okay, let's try another one. Good. Good. Yep. 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 So someone tell me, what is it? Yep. Point slope. Perfect. Good job. Good. Yep. 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 Yep.
That's not my father's auctioneer.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Good. Someone tell me, what is it? Slope-intercept. Good. Perfect. Yep. Yep. Yes. 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 Yes.
Why are we doing this?
Yes. 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 Because I want to make sure you know. Yes.
We're not going to use it though?
No, you definitely are going to use it. Yeah. So our this next unit, we're going to be graphing a ton of lines. So I need you to be able to know how to graph the lines, and this is the first step, is being able to know what kind of equation you're given. 3x plus y equals -4. What form is that in? Good, good. Yes, yes, yes. I'll write bigger. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, no, that's pretty big.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, what is it? Standard, right? It's a standard. Again, X and Y are on the same side of the equal sign. Point slope always has the parentheses. Y-intercept is Y equals MX plus B. Let's got 3 more.
3 more.
And this time, tell me what it is, and also tell me what's the slope. What's the slope?
What's the slope?
Yeah. No. Yes, 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 yes. What's the slope? Yes.
It's a slope.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's a slope.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Yep. Great. So what's the slope here?
1/3.
1/3. It's the number right before x. And that's slope-intercept form, right? Okay. So tell me what type of equation it is. What form is it? One of these 3. And what is the slope? Yes. 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 Half right. Yes. Yes. Or yes. 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 What form is this?
Point slope.
Point slope. And what's the slope? 3/2.
It's always the one that looks like a fraction.
Say that again?
Whatever was in front of that, it's not even in this fraction.
What form is that in? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, yes, yes. 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 All right. So if this is in standard form, it is in standard form. The slope is, what is the slope?
You never told us.
I never told you how to figure it out. Let me show you how. This is really, really easy. So this is ax plus by equals c, right? So what's a? This is ax plus by equals c. What is a in this example?
Your x-intercept.
No.
Slope.
What's a is the number right before x. It's the coefficient of x. What's the number right before x? What's the coefficient of x? Huh? 7, right? So a is 7. What's b?
Your y-intercept.
No, again, similar to this.
Coefficient.
What's the coefficient of y? What's the number right before y? -4. That's it. -4. And what's c? -12. Yeah, -12. The slope from standard form is always -a over b. -a over b. I want you to add that to that sheet that we were working on.
Which one?
The one that says slope on it. From an equation, so under where you wrote standard form, I want you to write this. M equals -a over b. Another day I'll show you how I got that, but right now I just want you to remember this.
Wait. Oh, so it's just both coefficients.
So if m is -a over b, then from this example, what's my slope?
It's 7 over -4.
Negative
Oh,
A
-7
over -4, right? Do we see that?
Okay, so all you gotta do is find the coefficients of x and y, and you'll find your slope.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And what happens here when I have double negatives? They become positive. So my slope is just 7 over 4 for that one. Okay? All right. Let's see. What time did we finish? We got 20 minutes. All right, let's flip over to the other side of that paper, okay? And I want to go over how to graph, and then I'm going to give you some time to do some practice. Okay. All right. So from slope-intercept form, we already did this today, but let's go over it one more time really quick. Let's say we've got y equals 1/3 x plus 1. What do I need to do when I'm graphing from slope-intercept form? Yep, it's on the back. What do I do when I graph from slope-intercept form? It's the first thing you do. Yeah, we got to figure out what is the y-intercept. What? Yeah, 1. Yeah, y-intercept is 1, so I plot that point, right? And then what's my next step? Yeah, you find your slope. What's my slope here? 1/3. So that means from here I go up 1 over 3. And I connect my points together. And I have my line, right? Now from point slope form, let's say we've got, let me see, what do I have? Y plus 4 equals 2/3 x minus 2.
4 is your y-intercept.
4 is not my y-intercept.
So then it'd be -2.
Listen, no +1.
Huh?
Your y-intercept? That's 1.
In my point slope. We're looking at this equation.
Oh, you're on that.
Yeah. So remember point slope. Remember point slope. Y plus y1 equals m times x plus x1, right? Where m we decided is my slope, yes? But what's x1, y1?
It's your.
That's your origin.
It's 4 and 2. Goodness, you're smart.
X1 is what? Is just positive 2. Just positive 2. And what's y1?
4.
Yeah, it's 4. Okay. And what do I do with those 2 points? Or those 2 numbers? Huh?
You get coordinates.
Yeah, it's coordinates. It's just a point. So in this example, let me use some color. So x1, right, is right here is my 2. And y1 is right here. It's my 4. So then I have a point right there. And it's 2, 4. And that's just a point on the line. So that's instead of, like in our slope-intercept form, we plot the y-intercept first, right? We plot the y-intercept, and then you use your slope. In point slope, you plot this point, and then you use your slope. Okay, so just first step is finding that point. So 2, 4 is our point. I got it from my equation, 2, 4. And then what's my slope here? 2 over 3. 2 over 3. So I need to go up 2 over 3. Yeah, so what can I do if it goes off the grid?
Arrow.
Yeah, I can use an arrow, or I can go back down the other way, right? I can go down 2 over 3. And there's my line. We okay?
So far.
Okay. Now standard form. Let's see. Let's go over this. So standard form, we haven't done this before. It's not. It's not, but it's a good try. And that is what we're going to do. We're going to find the x and the y intercepts. That's going to be our first step. That's going to be our first step. So we just went over, we did this already last semester, how to find how to graph slope-intercept, how to graph point slope. We're going to talk about how to graph standard form, okay? So when we're graphing standard form, we need to graph both the x and the y intercepts. X and y intercepts. So to figure out our x-intercept, let's write that down, x-intercept. The x-intercept is somewhere on the x-axis, right? Mm-hmm. So what would be the y-coordinate of the x-intercept? Yeah, 0, right? It has to be on the x-intercept, so it can't be up here or down here at all. It has to be on the x-axis, so the y-coordinate is 0. So in order to find the x-intercept, we're going to plug in 0 as our y, okay? 0 as y. So then we just rewrite our equation. We got 7x plus 3 times 0 equals negative 12. Okay. So now let's simplify because we're going to figure out now, we're going to solve for x. I'm going to solve for x. So, what's that? 7x plus, what's 3 times 0? 0, right? So that just kind of goes away. So now we got 7x equals negative 12. How do I solve for x? Yeah, I got to divide both sides by 7. And why do I divide both sides by 7? Yeah, because there's multiplication going on here. So I have to undo the multiplication by dividing. So x equals negative 12 over 7. These aren't very nice numbers. It's okay. So now this is my x-intercept. How do I make this? How do I make a decimal, or how do I make a fraction? How do I turn a fraction into a decimal?
That's a great question.
Add some zeros.
No.
It's a great question, but that I cannot answer.
How do I go from fraction to decimal?
You divide the 12 by 7.
Yeah. Can you put that in your calculator and tell me what you get? What's
negative 12, right?
Yep.
Negative 1.7142.
1.71. That's good. Negative 1.7. So that's my x-intercept. Let's graph that. So x is negative 1.71. So that's going to be somewhere in between negative 1 and negative 2. Yeah. So right around there. And we can put a point right there. Now, if I plugged in 0 for y to find my x-intercept, how do you think I'd find my y-intercept? Yeah, plug 0 in for x. Really good. Yeah, 0 in for x. So try and do that. Rewrite the equation, but instead of x, write a 0.
That's a lot, just for standard form.
I know.
Isn't
There's a
simpler way?
There's several ways. I can show you another way, but I'm going to show you, just stick with this way for today.
Okay.
But we're going to keep looking at this, so you can keep practicing. All right, so same thing, right? I plugged in 0 for x. I just rewrote my equation, but instead of x, I put in a 0. And what's 7 times 0? 0. So now I'm just left with 3y equals negative 12, right?
12.
So hold on, I want to solve this for the remaining variable. What's my variable in this equation?
Y.
Y. I want to get y by itself. How am I going to get y by itself? Yeah, I have to divide both sides by 12. Or not by 12, what do I have to divide by? Huh?
7.
What?
3.
Oh my goodness.
Numbers.
Divide by 3, right?
Divide by number.
So over here, those 3 cancel, and I'm left with y equals, what's negative 12 divided by 3? Negative 4. So now my y-intercept is at negative 4. I go down here, and that's the last step before what's the last thing I got to do? Yeah, just connect the points. Okay. There you go. You just graphed from standard form. It's not. It's a lot of steps, but once you get used to the steps, it won't be hard. Okay. So I need everybody to, let's see. So I'm going to give you a piece of graph paper, and I'm going to give you 12 equations.
That's a lot. You have 5 minutes.
You have 10 minutes, and do the best that you can.
Okay.
Okay. I can show you how I would set things up on here.
illustrated?
Yeah.
No, this. No. Oh, no. Can I get extra credit? I'm not doing it.
I just did it as something. Just hold on a minute. All right, so I gave everyone should have one of these little half sheets of paper and a graph paper. What I want you to do on your graph paper, let me go to, no, not desktop, I didn't mean to do that. Go back. Whiteboard, that's what I wanted. So what I want you to do to start would be to draw. So you've got 12 equations. That means you're going to need 12 coordinate planes.
How big do they have to be?
So I would make them,
12 by 20?
no, not that big. So I would make them, so do 5. So like 10 by 10, I guess, would be the way. So, right. 12 10 by 10s. Yeah, use the front and the back. So count across 10. And go down 10. Right? So you should have 12 coordinate planes. You can start with, I got 6 on one side, so maybe just start with one side, and then I want you to start graphing. So the first section has equations in standard form. The second section has equations in slope-intercept. And the third section has equations in point-slope form. Right? The graph paper.
Wait, what's the first section?
First section, do you have a little half sheet of paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are standard form. Second section is slope-intercept. Third section is point-slope. So start with what you know. If you don't feel comfortable with standard form, I know that all of you can graph from slope-intercept form. So start with that second section and start graphing. You didn't get one of the half sheets? Oh, sorry. That's my fault.
Did you get one?
So that was too short. I'm sorry. Keep them.
I don't know.
This is what we're doing in this whole next unit. We're looking at a bunch of graphs with a bunch of equations. We need to get really comfortable with it. Here we go.
I came off the board, but it's kind of dead.
And then can all of you just make a stack of your whiteboards on your table, please? Put them into the center along with erasers if you have them. And then keep working. Keep working. Remember, Ben is here as well to help out if you're having any trouble. Yep.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I just. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab that notes page, your graph paper. So notes, graph paper, and this guy. You can staple them all together. This is going to because I'm going to have you hand this in. You guys, can you staple together?
I don't know. I can't do this.
Try.
I can't.
Very good, you're starting. Break it down. Look at number 5. Try and do number 5. That's in the slope-intercept form, right? So what's your slope? And what's your y-intercept? 1. So plot your y-intercept. Where would 1 be on the y-axis? Perfect. And if your slope is 3/2, what does that mean? Yeah.
I don't know. This is
I
tough.
know. I thought I was off.
No. I want you to, there's a stapler going around. I want you to staple together your notes page, your graph paper, and that little half sheet. Notes paper, graph paper, and that little half sheet. Staple it together, make sure your name is on it.
Where's this stuff called stapler?
I'm coming around. And you'll keep working on this. It's going to be due at the end of the week. Newspaper, graph paper, half sheet. Newspaper, graph paper, half sheet.
Thank you for the sticker from the college.
You're welcome. Good job. What about this? Okay. Can you table it with this? Together? Okay.
I mentioned you wanted me to help with 4th hour computer program.
Yeah, I don't think I'll really need much help.
Okay.
Maybe I think it's this week and next week because we're doing more like unplugged kind of like design process types of activities.
Sure.
So it's not. It's just sounds like boring.
Yeah.
But then once we actually get into, we're gonna be building apps. We're gonna get into like app lab and be playing around with that. So I think once we're there, it might be helpful.
That sounds good.
Okay.
So not next week, week after.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's plan for that.
All right.
But I'll take a look at my calendar and give you a better idea.
And if something changes, I right now I'm totally open for that.
Okay.
So I've been taking lunch, but that's only because we were planning on doing a little tutor session downstairs in Shelley's room.
Oh, okay.
But that we haven't worked with that yet.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
We'll work on that right now.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Yeah.